To all those above me that watch over me, to all of my favorite para-peeps on this side of the veil, welcome. This is Reverend Sean Whittington's Paranormal Ministry. I'm your host, Reverend Sean, the Rev. Welcome to my haunted house, my very haunted house. Things have been quite active today, and it's probably because of my guest. I have a couple of quick announcements, and I will get right to why you all tuned in, my very special guest. But real quick here, I have an opening prayer for a family, Marty and Nancy, and their 3 young, beautiful daughters. God bless them, watch the show every Friday. And they just moved into a new house. They're a family of warriors for Christ. So they would like me to say an opening prayer for them, for their new home. They're going to crank the volume on their speakers, their computer speakers. And they also, it's one-stop shopping. They want me to light a candle for their grandmother, who they want me to just refer to as Grandma M, who happens to be in the hospital, not doing very well. God bless her. And so I'm going to light a candle for Grandma M. And so if you want to add some of your own love and light and positive vibes to the prayer, or if you want to receive any of the love and light and positive vibe from the prayer, just close your eyes, bow your head, reach forward, and touch the computer screen, and you will be all set to go. So let us pray. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. For though we live in the world, we are not carrying on a worldly war. For the weapons of our warfare are not worldly, but have divine power to destroy strongholds. Saint Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle. Be our protection against the wickedness and snares of the devil. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray. And do thou, O Prince of the heavenly host, by the divine power of God, cast into hell Satan and all the evil spirits who roam throughout the world, seeking the ruin of souls. Most Sacred Heart of Jesus, have mercy on us. Most Sacred Heart of Jesus, have mercy on us. Most Sacred Heart of Jesus, have mercy on us. Amen. Grandma M, if you're watching, this is your candle. May the Holy Spirit intervene in your life and remain with you the remainder of your days and long after that for eternity. God bless you, Grandma M. Grandma M, your candle will stay lit with me here and enjoy the show for the next hour, and then I will put the candle in the room here in the house where I have everybody's candles burning, and it will burn until it gets done burning. Thank you very much to Marty and Nancy for the prayer request, and take care of those 3 young, beautiful daughters of yours. They're very special. All right, guys, quick announcement. Anything you want to know about me and my wife and our ministry work, you can find out at our website, www.ghost-b-gone.biz. And that's our ministry. That's our website, but it's also our ministry here in Las Vegas, Nevada. If you go there to visit, there's a lot of cool things there to see. In addition to being an ordained exorcist, I am also a certified spiritual advisor, intuitive coach. If you're having some issues of a spiritual nature, not necessarily attached to the paranormal, and you would like to make an appointment to speak with me, you can do that there on the page entitled Spiritual Advisor. Before you leave the website, though, I want you to navigate back over to the page entitled the WSE Course/Book. On there, you'll find the Ghost Store. A lot of cool things in there to purchase if you go for that sort of stuff. But I want you to pay attention to my new haunted autobiography is there. God, Ghosts, and the Paranormal Ministry. A true story inspired by spirit and divine intervention. And I quote, the scariest book I ever published. That was Annette Munich, owner and publisher of Stellium Books, my publisher. But don't let that scare you off of purchasing it. There's a lot of stories there, good versus evil, where good wins. So I like to refer to my autobiography as a Very different kind of feel-good story. But the best part about my book is that part of the proceeds of every sale of every copy of my book goes to support stjude.org and St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital in Nevada. And that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. So if you haven't done your good deed yet for the day, purchase a copy. I think you'll love it. Nobody's knocked on my door yet and thrown it back at me. And if you have already purchased my book, you're a part of the support group. So God bless you. You can scroll a little further down and you'll see the Worldwide Society of Exorcists. I am the founding member. I offer a 12-week online course, Introduction to Spiritual Warfare, through the WSC. For all you true spiritual warriors and warriors for Christ, if you've ever felt the calling and the hunger to want more knowledge on how to draw your line in the sand and make a stand and push back and put up a good fight against true evil, if it comes calling, that is the course for you. All my students that graduate get a stunning diploma suited for framing, along with a lot of special blessed items as parting gifts that you can only get from yours truly. So if you're interested in the course, you can enroll in it there on the website. If you want more information about it, there's also a Worldwide Society of Exorcists Facebook page. So please keep all of my former, current, and future students in your prayers. All right, guys, here we go. I love this woman, and many of you that have tuned in today, tuned in because you love her too. She's a friend. I've known her a while. Always a great guest. Always brings something really special with her when she shows up to visit with me. I just want to welcome world-renowned psychic medium, the compassionate clairvoyant, the one and only, my friend, Brandie Wells. Brandie, how are you?
I am doing great. I'm doing good. I feel like I'm on top of the world with that intro, so thank you.
It's heartfelt. You know I love you. You know I respect you. You know I consider you a friend. And I also consider you one of, there's a lot of drama, has always been drama in our field. And you're one of the, I don't know if this is even a real word, the drama-less entities floating around the paranormal community, and you bring such positivity and love and light and contribute good things to our field.
I appreciate that, Sean.
You're welcome. And that's what it's all about, and there's just, I constantly pray for all the people that I see on a daily basis contributing nothing but drama. So maybe one day we'll, the paranormal community be free of that.
Yes.
We'll see. But let's get the important stuff out of the way first. I haven't talked to you in a while.
Yeah, it has been a while.
Yeah, things change on a daily basis. How are you and your family holding up during the pandemic?
I am so grateful because my family is solid and strong. Just overall, my dad is a wonderful man, and he lives in the town that we're in. But it's a very loving, supportive family, and everybody's been healthy and good. And, my husband's still able to work. We've been doing a lot of praying for those who are struggling financially, or even, from the stress and anxiety. That's a really big issue right now. I'm very concerned about a lot of my clients, their mental health, their emotional well-being. So, for us, we're on solid ground and grateful, but I think we're holding space for a lot of people who are struggling right now.
Absolutely. And that's something that you and I both have in common. And I hear from people all the time. And it's also friends and acquaintances, not just people that don't know me and are reaching out to me because they know what I do. But my advice to people and everybody watching, if you're in that boat, guys, just pick up the phone, call somebody. You don't have to know a psychiatrist or psychologist. And even if you did, who can afford one nowadays with everything that's going on? a family member, a close friend, somebody, pick up the phone and call somebody, vent, talk things out, talk to people. Just keep the lines of communication open. Don't be a hermit and let all that negativity fester inside of you. You got to get it out. So,
Yeah.
how is mini me clairvoyant, compassionate clairvoyant doing?
So I have 4 children, and all of my kids are intuitive. They're open. Some like to deny their gifts because it's overwhelming. But I do have one daughter who is now working for me full time in my store, and she is my mini me. It's really fun to watch her gain confidence. It takes a lot of confidence to express your abilities and your connection to the spirit realm. And I'm sure you remember that through your journey, Sean, like stepping into your truth and what you're receiving and how to express it, right? So being in a retail store for people who are seeking something to hold on to, tools to work with. It's a really great environment for her. I'm really hoping that she does gain that confidence because she's very gifted. So, and that's my daughter,
I did not know about all the kids being gifted. I knew one of your daughters was. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
One day I can imagine what it's going to be like when they all come into their own and you guys have family gets-togethers. I can just imagine what it's going to be like around the dinner table with your whole family.
It's interesting, I have to say. It's more like, did anybody get tapped on the shoulder today? Did anybody? I mean, it is constant. It's hilarious. It's pretty funny. But you know what I was saying the other day, Sean? I told my husband the thing that's really disappointing about the field that I'm in and the work that I do. I don't think I've ever been surprised by something. Like,
that's interesting, and every time I talk to you, I should not even stalk you and write down questions for you. And I have a couple of questions from some of your fans and followers that sent me because they knew you were on today. Because every time we do this, you always end up answering my questions before I even ask them. And that was going to be one of them. So now I know you haven't been surprised by anything, but the surprise, there's a couple of other things I'm going to put into that sentence a little bit, that question a little bit later. I know from personal experience that, well, my wife happens to also be very gifted too, but also, even if she wasn't, very supportive, and I couldn't do what I do without her support. Having said that, if you want to give your husband a shout out, he has to. I don't think you would be the compassionate clairvoyant and as successful as you've been without a phenomenal, supportive husband. And if you want to give him a shout out, please feel free.
My husband shows up for me in every way in life. I can't even. Gonna make me weepy. We've been married 23 years, and I was just thinking last night how blessed I am that he allows me to truly have the freedom to grow and change. And but here's the funny thing. He said that I'm kind of like holding a ball of yarn, and he just has to hold on really tight. So there is, he does put up with a lot. It's almost like I could unravel. I'm an idea person because I'm constantly getting downloads from spirit, just constant ideas, energy. You're high energy. That energy is the download from spirit. And so it's just constant downloads. So he's always trying to hold on tight, but I appreciate him so much. So I appreciate you opening that up. My husband, Kyle, he's a great guy.
Gifted at all himself? Is he into it at all, or does he pretty much let you in?
So he'd be upset if I told you, and we'll just leave it at that. Because he is a very left brain. He works in corporate America, highly intelligent man. But aren't we all connected? Don't we all have that?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And it's like my wife and I are a lot alike, but we're very different in a lot of ways too. But that probably is very grounding for you both to be. Yes. You seem like you're at the extreme ends of
Oh yeah.
whatever's going on there, but
Right
still
brain, left
so.
brain.
And I'm sure you're just as supportive over him. I do want you to address this with anybody out there watching who may have not as supportive a spouse or children that are afraid of their gifts. Or, I mean, you have the perfect situation to advise anybody on, if you are the spouse of someone who you suspect is gifted and you don't know how to or how not to support, or when to, when not to, and children, if you should encourage that, if you should shut that down until they're a little bit older. What would you say to all of that stuff? Because I'm feeling there's people out there probably going through all of those issues.
Well, we are in a world awakening. I mean, if you really start looking into this, we're moving from what they're calling the third dimension into the fifth dimension. And people can look this up. It's amazing what's happening. Many people, especially those who are awake and sensitive, are having experiences that they cannot even wrap their minds around. And I think that's why my service end of my business is I can't serve everyone. I wish I had a stunt double. I really wish I could reach more people to help more people explore what is happening to them. Everyone has the ability to connect, but believing and trusting what you're receiving and knowing and understanding how to interpret it and why. Most times people come to me and they're like, I don't understand why I keep having visitations in my dreams, or I'm seeing orbs, or, I know there's a spirit in my house. Why are they making themselves known to me? There's a lot of trusting in your own higher self. And as far as being supported by friends and family members, I personally have gone through in my awakening, and people can look this up as well. And an awakening, a personal awakening, you end up moving through shedding people, experiences, even maybe the work, the field that you're in, you may end up shifting from that, but you end up releasing layers that are weight to your energy in order to be enlightened and to ascend. And so what ends up happening is those around you, if they don't accept your gifts, they end up falling away from you naturally. And, it's not the easiest thing, but this is a lot of times when a friendship will change, or your work relationship changes, and all of a sudden you're looking at another field. So in this world awakening, there are many people right now who are awakening and moving with the flow of this energy. And and I don't know if you heard this on the news the other day, Sean, but 42% of people in the United States are single right now. 42%. And it's because there's a world awakening happening, and people are asking themselves, am I happy? Am I where I belong in my journey? And if I am not, what do I have to take care of behind me? And what do I need to do to get where I belong? And so this is where that big shift is happening. It's making people feel a sense of urgency, but it's that inspiration from being awake. It's the downloads we're getting from the collective, the higher consciousness. So as far as I want to say, being supported by those around you, be true to yourself, listen, take the path less traveled by if it means following your heart. And there are so many resources. This is what's fun. I pulled a card before, and I just wanted to see what was going to come up. And I have to share this with you. I just wanted to know why Spirit called me to. And these were the two cards that came up. And I'm going to read them real quick. One says, new psychic and spiritual experiences are changing the way you view the world and yourself. Allow your gifts to open through study, prayer, or meditation. And then the other card was from my Starseed deck, and it says, you're part of a team of souls, call in support. This is about asking those around you or finding your resources. I mean, there are teachers and Reiki and healers and schools. I mean, online it's exploding. I mean, if you look around, it's like everywhere, right? So it's really exciting energy, but I think people are really starting to honor who they are and accept those around them on that same journey, no matter what it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. But that's fun. We're pulled. I was like, why did you want me to pull those, Spirit? They're right here. It's awesome.
Well, listen, I do have some questions from some of your friends and family and followers, and I know if I don't get to them, I'm going to get hate mail. I don't want to do that. Oh, this is a good one, and I have another story I want to talk to you about after this.
Yeah.
Soulemporium.net. Now, before I ask you this question, I want to tell you that the other night, Sharon purchased. She has a site that she goes to, and she purchased white sage and some sweetgrass and some incenses and stuff for me. And I happened to go on, and I'm stalking you, preparing for the interview, and I'm looking through all your stuff, and I didn't get to everything, but I see, and I knew that you had Soul Emporium, and the website, brothers and sisters out there, soulemporium1word.net. She's got a Facebook page too, but that's the website. I'm going through there, and I'm looking at your store. Totally falling in love with it. Like if I lived there, I would be living at your store. I'd be in there all the time. And I'm like, I totally forgot that right before Sharon said, I'm going to reach out to this one place and purchase you some stuff. You're running low on some of your supplies. And had I done the stalking of you prior to that, I would have, could I have purchased stuff through you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You do online sales and all that.
Yes, we do. I'm working on, I probably only have about 25% of my store on my website, but it still is a huge variety. My store is jam-packed with all of the resources you need for healing, cleansing, protecting. It's for energy work. So,
well, let me ask you this. I did see surfing, and it wasn't at your shop. I ran into something that I had never seen or heard before called Dragon's Blood Sage.
Yes.
I had never heard of that. What is Dragon's Blood Sage, and what are they using that for?
So Dragon's Blood is actually a resin. I had to research this because I purchased it out of intrigue for the store. And once I found out what it was and what it is for, no wonder you were drawn to it, Sean. So Dragon's Blood is a resin of several plants. And I'm not an herbalist, okay? So I don't know these plants. You can look it up. But it is the resin, the draw from, I believe it's 3 different plants that give this red hue. But these plants carry a very cleansing, detoxing plant medicine that is meant for removal of. Okay, so they take the sage and they dip it in the resin, and then it is a sage that it can then be used to remove heavy, thick energy, demonic, angry, frustrated, deep grief, violence. Like it's meant to move that thick ego energy, for cleansing a space. Now, if I were to work with that, I would work with it, and then I would raise the vibration after, because it's a very, it's a very heavy smudge to work with. You wouldn't want to use it if you're just trying to, I'm going to lighten the energy in here. It's meant to be used with intention of clearing that thick energy. And I hope that makes sense, the way I'm expressing that. Yeah.
I'm going to purchase some of that. It looks beautiful. I would imagine the smell is wonderful.
Yeah.
And I love the intent and the meaning behind what that's used for. And of course, I have great success with. I usually use a mixture of white sage and sweetgrass. It's a bundle together in one giant bundle, and that works really great for me. But sometimes you need a little extra kick in the rear, so to speak. And I saw that, and I was like, I was going to ask her about that. Well,
that's why you were drawn. That makes sense.
You will expect to get a phone call or from me, Sharon, or I.
Yeah.
The next time I need to get some supplies, because your store is wonderful, and good job on that too. I mean, really good job on that. While we're talking about all that stuff, I just want to make sure everybody knows how to reach you, and please, If I leave anything out, let me know. We've
So
got BRANDIE WELLS, one word, .com. And then you have a lot of different types of Facebook pages. But this is the one that really jumped out at me that I am, I'm feeling I'm leaning towards this and feeling a passion for it. And I don't know where it's coming from. Probably because I just am fighting the past life regression thing, which everybody keeps trying to get me to do. But the American Center of Spirituality.com. You've also got a Facebook page for that, but that looks like a phenomenal, whatever you would call it.
It is a feat, let me tell you.
Please tell us all more about that and the hypnotism and all of that. You seem really passionate about that now. There's got to be a reason for that. So tell us all about that.
All right. So the American Center of Spirituality, I started because I've been offering classes and courses, but I tend to I tend to bring in a lot of other healers, teachers when I'm doing my work. I want them to shine. I want them to bring to the table what I cannot. You know, around us are all these people who hold that wisdom and knowledge. So it's a multi-teacher platform. And I had, I'm almost there, but in order to open this school, it is a school, I had to go through the New Hampshire Board of Education to get it approved as a career school. And it is the first metaphysical career school in the state of New Hampshire. So that's why I'm saying it's a feat, and I'm almost there. I had to go through getting a bond for insurance. I mean, it's just so much work. And I asked Spirit, if this is supposed to happen, show up with someone this week. And I got an email from a woman that I had served through a session back in November. And she said, I kept getting this nagging message to email you to find out if you need help with your school. And she was the administrative for a college for 9 years and knows how to submit all of that information to the state. So I'm hiring her as a consultant. And it was within 24 hours that I asked Spirit, if this is supposed to happen, bring this person to me. So I know it's supposed to happen, but it's a lot of work. But I know it is the backbone to this being legitimized. You know, I'm not just doing some fly by night. I really, it's being approved by the New Hampshire Board of Education. So I'm really proud of that. And I'm hoping that by May, I will be able to fully launch everything. The timeline has taken longer because of COVID, and just everything is like walking through mud, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm excited for it. My goal is not to teach clairvoyance or hypnotism. My goal is actually a program called Branding You, and it's to help healers who know they have a gift, who have studied and want to launch themselves professionally. So I'm going to be giving them the tools on how to work with, how do you create a website, that professional look, the logo, the scheduling system, what's the message, the overall message, what's your content? And so it's going to be like an a la carte for what do you need to become a professional and be respected in your field, and to really, my goal is to get more healers out into the world, because that's what the world needs.
Absolutely.
So I am very passionate about the school, but it's so much work, but I know it will pay off.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is, but I just know, I know you, and I know that you're going to be so successful at it.
Thank you.
I just can as you're telling my listeners about it, I can feel the energy.
Yes.
And
you can feel it. It's all coming from my heart chakra. Yeah.
The excitement's there and the passion's there. You're gonna be so successful at it.
Okay.
Do you enjoy doing hypnotism?
Okay, so let me back up a minute. I have been doing hypnotism longer than I was certified for it. This is what's interesting, is I was using self-hypnotism to help people move from unstuck to how do I move into this new direction in my mindset, in my life? And so I kept giving people this thing that Spirit told me to do. And I'm going to share this with everyone because it's kind of a neat thing that, and someone does have a great question I see here from Joshua, if you don't mind me.
No, absolutely.
You can use hypnotism to open someone to their gifts, and I'll respond to that in a minute. But I did this thing. It was like years ago. And all of a sudden Spirit said, tell them to put a dot right on their left hand. So just like this. Okay.
Okay.
This is one of your meridians in energy work. Okay. If you get, what do you want to say? Acupuncture, or, it's a pressure point. This is one of your meridians. So it's like an energy point. Okay.
Okay.
So this is kind of like a string on your finger. And so what I would do with people is I would say something like, Spirit would say, Brandy, they don't believe in their power. That's why they're stuck. So I would hear, okay, what are they supposed to do? Every time they look at this dot, they need to say, I am confident. I am confident in what I'm doing. I've got this. So I would tell them, every time that dot catches your eye, you need to tell yourself that until you believe it, until you feel it in your heart, and then you no longer need to do that task. And then I took a hypnotism course because I was so drawn. I was like, wow, this resonates with me. It feels familiar to me. And I discovered I've actually been teaching people self-hypnotism. I've been teaching them how to hypnotize themselves, but I've been hypnotizing myself for years. In order to get into my higher self and channel messages, I remove myself and I go up into this higher beta state and I channel. So hypnotism for me really, I want to say, validated what I was already doing, but it amplified it because now I know what to call all those terms. I know how to put it all together. So Joshua asked, can you use hypnotism to open someone to their gifts? Here's something funny. I just put a course together, a mini course for this. And yes, you can do that. I actually did an event, and you would love this, Sean, where I hypnotized everyone to believe that they were fully professional mediums. Like they were all psychic mediums. And I hypnotized them. You can see, hear, sense, feel spirit. And you will not talk about this the entire time you're investigating. You will have a pad of paper and a pen, and you will write down everything you see, sense, and hear from spirit. And it will be just like talking to somebody who is here on this earth realm. It was mind-blowing what they were getting. And so they didn't know anything about the history of this location. And I took them out of the hypnotism after. And they had all this information they wrote down, like just pages of it. Okay. And then we had the person who knew all the history just stand by. And this man says, I didn't believe in any of this. I can't believe this. He was mind blown. He's like, there was a woman weeping in this room, and she was crying because she lost a baby. And it turns out this room was a room where a woman had where she lost her baby, and he was seeing her, and wow. He was a skeptic. So yes, you can do that, but I just created an online course to help people step into that state of higher self. It's all about confidence, like I have to tell you, Sean, I was an introvert and I did not talk when I was young. Can you believe that? And now I don't shut up.
I don't believe it. I
am telling you, I was the most nervous, but I was an empath, and I still am, to the point where I would come home crying because I could feel the children in my class that were abused, or I was carrying the weight of everyone. And so it's like I felt like I couldn't talk. But once I learned how to use that empath self to help people, it's like a whole new me came out. So yes, I was an introvert. It was probably about like later in my high school years that I started really opening up, and yeah.
This is a two-part question.
Yes.
If you were anybody else but you, I wouldn't ask the part one of it. You and I both have our fair share of ink on us. I love that dot. I love that. Could somebody, and I'm even thinking about, I just recently met a tattoo artist who's baptized Catholic, and he's all in on, there's some other work I'd love to one day get where he will, I will bless the ink, and he will also infuse the ink with some holy water as he's working on me. And they always use that towel, and as you tend to bleed a little bit as they're doing the work on you, and they wipe you off during the needle hitting you, the gun hitting you with a towel. And that towel is also going to be doused in holy water. So here's my question to you. Could someone tattoo that dot on them?
Yes. And I also saw this very interesting thing recently where they have temporary tattoos and they're calling them affirmation tattoos. And so here I am getting this download from Spirit, and I'm like, oh, I'm brilliant. I'm hearing this. And then I see that somebody's already making temporary tattoos with it. But, that's part of channeling. We're connected to the collective. Somebody's picking up on the same vibration. It is a tool to heal yourself. We're all capable of healing ourselves. Affirmations are self-hypnosis. Guided meditations are hypnosis. It's all meant to shift the subconscious mind. That's all it is. What you believe is what you become. So it's really the reminder. And so, I use that little dot myself for things that I'm working on. My affirmation for this year is I am worthy of this dream. Like, I have all these dreams and aspirations, and it's about feeling worthy of it. That's I think the core of many of our issues is, do I deserve this? I did a money manifestation last week, and I love doing those because for about 2 weeks after, people will keep emailing and messaging, oh my gosh, I just got a job promotion. It worked. I can't believe this. This is crazy, right? And it's like, all I did was read the script. You believe what you're capable of. Like, that's your subconscious mind connecting. It's that shift.
Does it have to be a dot, or can someone? It can be anything. All right.
It's kind of like a string on your finger. It was like the reminder, the string on the finger. So that's why it's more about the meaning behind it. I think I see this as what I would call your I am, because it's what you aspire to be, and seeing yourself as that person who embodies that now. That's the secret to the law of attraction, is seeing yourself as I am. So, you could even do, I am, I am worthy of this dream. I am confident.
So in your professional opinion, do you think hypnotism communicates and marries well with the psychic gifts, and do they enhance one another?
Oh, yes. Because hypnotism taps in on subconscious, and that's where your gifts actually come from, is moving from subconscious into your consciousness, higher self, just moving right up through. So, and if you notice, when I am in a channel, well, I don't know if you've ever really seen me in a channeled state.
I have not.
No, we'll have to do that another show. Actually, maybe I could hypnotize you one of these shows.
Well, listen, here's why am I so, I am, me, I am so, I'm really not afraid. Well, having said that, God gave me the gift of, all the human emotions. So I still do get afraid a lot. But what is the hang up with me not wanting to do the past life regression? I've had many people as gifted as you, possibly a little bit more, some nowhere near as gifted as you, try to get me to do that. And they volunteer, they want to do it for me. Why do you feel I'm so hesitant in wanting to do that? And what do you feel are the benefits or not of being hypnotized and having a past life regression?
Well, Spirit just shared that you're actually, you have some unresolved from past life, and you're afraid you're going to see it as your weakness. And it is not. Our past life is really just a version of our, soul's imprint as we move through each lifetime. We take with us what we need from each lifetime. I actually do a session called Life Between Lives, where you're making all of your soul's decisions as you move into this lifetime, but you have to go through a past life to get there. And so part one, I'm hearing Spirit saying, like, you're apprehensive because you don't know what to expect, right? You don't know what to expect. You don't know what's going to happen. But I also heard you don't like not being in control. So you haven't trusted anyone yet enough to let go and feel vulnerable.
Hmm.
There's a
Interesting.
lot of trust that comes in with hypnotism. If someone is not willing, okay, here's a big one. I can't be hypnotized. People will say that to me all the time. I'm like, did you go to school? Yes, I went to school. You were hypnotized. You went to school without knowledge and wisdom, and you left with knowledge and wisdom.
Oh, yeah.
That is the mildest form, but it is hypnosis. So it's really about being able to let go and allow the hypnotist to speak directly to your subconscious mind. And as far as, I guess people come in for, I actually have online, I love doing Zoom hypnosis, and I do group Zoom hypnosis. It is incredibly effective. And you know why? What better place to let go and relax than your own home, right?
Yeah.
So I have everyone, they turn their cameras off, and then I go into the hypnosis. But what's fun is I integrate into the script. What do you want to leave with? What's the knowledge you want to leave with? And perhaps, Sean, you'd like to know, why am I caught in this loop or cycle in this lifetime? Is it related to my past life? Like maybe there's something that you do that you're like, why can't I release that? And then, you want to find out why. And so I would include in the script, it is important to understand a cycle that you're caught in. Is this past life, is there an answer, message, vision that can come through that could reveal the answer for you? Just allow that to happen at this time. And it's amazing what people end up seeing. It's almost like lucid dreaming when you're in that hypnotic state, and you're going a lot of times people don't hear a word I'm saying until I start counting down again. And they tell me, oh my gosh, I don't know where I was and this. And I always say it's like opening a present at the end. But people go in for different reasons. The first reason somebody would want to go in is they just want to, it's curiosity. They just want to know, who was I in my direct past life? Now you could do a past life hypnosis, Sean, 50 times, and you could have 50 different lifetimes. If you want to be specific as to what lifetime impacts this cycle, or, so I had a repeating dream as a child of drowning. But every time in the dream, I was on a bridge in a wagon with big wheels, and the bridge broke. It was winter. I fell through the ice and I drowned, and I'm banging on the ice over and over again. I had this dream as a child. I was terrified of bridges. I was terrified of ice. And later on in my adult life, I did a past life regression to find out why. And that was my lifetime in 1832.
Wow.
So I wanted to understand, why did I have that? And I actually went through the whole thing in a past life regression. So repeating dreams are a sign. Sometimes people want to understand why a relationship is so difficult. They know it has something to do with a past life. Do I know this person in past life? So sometimes people are trying to figure out relationships. So, there are different things people want. Most time it's just curiosity. They just want to know, like, they want to experience it. But you could listen to the same script over and over again and have a different lifetime every time. So kind of neat.
You and I are going to be doing some talking. I do really, when I say I love you and I trust you, I do. And I get the vibe that you might just be the one. And any of my other friends that are watching that I've turned down, don't be mad at me or get your feelings hurt. It's not personal. It's just, I'm going with the vibe I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Something that, I never do this, but something made me want to do this week because you were coming on, and I knew there must be a reason for it. So Spirit had me grab 3, there's many allegedly haunted items I have here. Some have been gifted to me. Some we've taken from places because we felt things would get better if this was removed, and the client agrees. So I've got 3 items here, and things have been very active here in the home this past week especially, and it usually happens when I have someone like you coming on. And so I wondered, and there's been some activity with these items too. So I know that you're able to look at stuff and get a feel and give me your impression if there's an issue with it or not, and why I'm getting some activity with these items. So the first item I'm going to show you is, and if any of these things you don't know what they are, and you're going to probably know what they are, you ask me and I'll tell you what it is.
So I was taking notes for you because I knew you were going to pick up some objects. I had no idea what they would be. And I'm just going to tell you what I was picking up on. And so are you able, Sean, to validate for me any information I bring, or is it completely open for you?
This is your show, whatever you want to do. You want me to tell you what it is, though?
No. What I'm wondering is, if I start bringing forth information, can you validate the information for me?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the first object that you were going to be picking up is connected to, all I heard was grandmother, and that there was a man that passed before her. Are you able to validate that for me?
That I'm not sure.
Okay. Because there's a man that passed before her.
I feel what this is that's attached to this. Okay. That's what I'm feeling. What you're picking up on, I feel, is attached to this.
Yes. And so this is called psychometry, energy and objects. So Sean, you will get up from the seat you're in when you're done with the show, and your energy is in that chair. So someone who is highly sensitive to energy could come along and they could feel the energy of the chair, and they'd say, this man, he has glasses, he's very outgoing. It's like, that's your energy. And so psychometry is energy and objects. I'm picking up that I was picking up on 2 of the objects, not 3 of them. One is a longer thing. So I'm going to see what that is.
I'm going to show you that in a second.
Yeah,
let me give you a quick history on this, the first item, and I feel I need to, and this is why. It's an urn.
Yeah.
Sharon and I were at a very obscure small paracon out in the middle of nowhere, and they were auctioning this off. This very rarely happens to Sharon and I at the same time for something to both hit us and both speak to us and say, you need this, bid on this. Why would we bid on this? I've never seen anything like it, urn. It's beautiful. And so we were surprised at that. We didn't think we'd get it. We bid on it. Lo and behold, we got it. Of course, I opened it up to make sure there was no ashes inside. Not to say that at one time maybe there were, but there's always been a lot of powerful energy off of this urn.
Yeah.
And so I wondered if I'm having any issues with it now because of what might be attached to it. I've found the lid off. I've found it moved. Sharon said, Sharon's Lutheran. I'm Catholic. I'm going to be married, embalmed in a grave. She wants to be cremated. And we were having a morbid conversation about that the other day. And she said, well, just, don't worry about buying me anything else. I'll just put my ashes in that really beautiful urn we bid on that one time at that Paracon. I'm all, honey, I don't know if you want your ashes in that urn. We don't even know if it was used.
Oh, interesting. See, I'm going to tell you, I've been channeling this. So I just want to show you what I got on it. Share with you. The woman that owned this was born in 1923. I'm hearing grandmother. So she was born in that year. The piece is not from 1923. Okay. So this is the year she was born, the woman that owned this. So do you know where it came from?
The people even auctioning it off at that Paracon had no history. And they were even surprised we bid on it because they were like, no one's going to want to bid on an urn.
Yes. So her husband passed before her of an illness, and he had served in the military. But her head was foggy end of life. I'm hearing that she actually had some dementia or Alzheimer's, but she is now free. I was ready, is what she said to me. I am happy here in heaven. I am at peace because she's with this man. And her mother, and I'm not a religion. I believe in many gods for many people, but I don't study religion. I'm a spiritualist. I do believe in God, but I don't understand all the different religions. But she was talking about how her mother was a Baptist. Don't know what that's about, but I heard it. And she said, my daughter changed her mind. That was supposed to be for her. Weird.
Oh, I got Well, I am going to. I don't know if I I don't want to make Sharon mad. I mean, I may go to heaven before her, but if she goes
She's
before
okay
me,
with it. This woman's okay with this. She just told me this is fun. She likes that she can talk through this object. Okay.
Are you ready for object number 2?
Sure. And by the way, her name was short was Ella.
Okay.
The woman's first name was Ella, but her name was actually Eloise. That's what I got.
Very cool. Very, very cool. And okay. I just got total goosebumps, and I felt like a relief.
She's okay with this. I think she just wanted to be heard. It's just funny. There's no attachment in any negative way, but she's definitely present.
Okay, here's the next one. This thing has got a weird history. It has appeared. It's been put in its box and put away. It's appeared out of its box in the same room. The box has been, appeared on another side of the room, not where it was shoved. We have witnessed it when we used to use it back in the day. It worked on its own. And we used it the night that something really bad followed Sharon and I home, and we blamed it on this.
Yeah, I don't like this. Keep going. Okay. So, whatever you were about
it's a piece of slate, and the spirit board is actually carved into the piece of slate. And I have a piece of glass that fits right over it. And then the planchette is very interesting. It's just a very smooth on one side planchette that goes on the glass and slides on the glass, and the hole obviously shows the letter or the number.
So this is totally different energy. Okay. Can you hold up the third object for me? Because I think it was smaller, right?
Hey, no, the third object is huge. You ready though? Before we run out of time. Okay, now I got to give you the history in this one, and I don't even know why I brought this over here today, because my goal when I got it was to just leave it where it was at. I got to give you the backstory on this. I just have to. This came out of probably one of the most haunted locations that Sharon and I investigated at least a dozen times. Most haunted place we've ever investigated here in Las Vegas. And it was given as a gift to the real estate agent that was finally able to sell the home by the then owner. He gave him this as a gift. And then, I don't know if you can see it, it's right here.
I can see that. Okay, I got to back up here. Like, I'm getting just flooded. I'm channeling. I can't help it. Okay. Wherever that came from.
It's a large metal bell that would either hang in a church steeple or on the front of an old Western locomotive or train. And the gentleman took it home with him. The real estate agent took it home with him, and he mounted it on his pool deck. And one day, he's younger than me, in good shape, great swimmer. He's cleaning his pool one day, and something that he couldn't see shoved him in the pool.
Yep.
And for several minutes, he was fighting for his life to keep from being drowned in the shallow end of his pool.
Yep.
For the life of him, he couldn't imagine what was different. And it just hit him like a bolt of lightning later that day. It's got to be the bell.
Yeah.
So he immediately called me and said, would you take the bell? So we took the bell, and I had to move it over here. It took Sharon and I both to pick it up and get it over here. but I moved it over here today. Normally it stays where it stays and we don't mess with it. But I've heard the bell
Yes.
a couple of times and it too has moved. And I
Yeah.
don't know if these are things moving it that are attached to it or if there's something else here
You
in the
do
home.
have it. So these two objects do have attachments. So the thing I channeled earlier about the board, okay, there's a male attached to that board. 30 years. Oh no, that's the other object. Hold on, because I was channeling two different things. He had 3 children. When you picked it up, he said, "I'm picking it up with you. Be careful."
Oh, gotcha.
And there are initials on it that you need to look for. The person who created it. And the man who he said this man was like, that owned that was very depressed. So do you know where that came from?
The board or the Ouija board? Sharon got it for me from somewhere. I'm not absolutely sure.
Well, there is an attachment to that, and honestly, I would do.
Actually, we used it. We used it many times, but long before I decided not to use boards anymore. We had used it quite a bit, and we wondered maybe not so much if it was with it when she got it, or these spirits that we have brought through it as a portal. Somebody stuck behind.
That could be what it is, because I feel a sadness, and it's a soul that hasn't crossed. It's an earthbound.
Okay.
And I feel sad. I don't feel angry. I don't feel, it's not. It's definitely a soul that's kind of caught between.
I feel sad when I pick it up. That's something I felt today.
Yeah.
And with the bell, when I leaned back forward and even picked up the bonger to bong it, it's sitting down, so you didn't get the full effect of it. But the thing is designed to be heard miles and miles and miles away. It's loud when it's mounted. I've got a big old bracket behind the painting that it's mounted on, and it hangs from this bracket, but it's loud.
So here's what's fun. I
got nauseous when I turned to even grab the bonger and bong it and started talking about it. I got nauseous.
Okay, so that's what's interesting. I was nauseous, and this man, another male, said, "I was starved. I was forgotten. I was hungry. I was hungry."
I know who that is. I know who that is.
And then 26 years there, and I don't know what that meant. That's what he said.
I know who that is. I totally know who that is.
He said, "Then I had to go." And then this card came up. It says, "Believe in the impossible." What's going on here? I was told, "Pull a card for me." Okay, I will, sir. So now you got to tell us who this is, my dear.
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
It's the gentleman that built the mansion that we got the bell from.
Okay.
He built it in the 50s, and he built it to be he was one of the wealthiest copper barons in the world at the time, built the mansion to have Gatsby style parties in it. And everybody used to come to these parties, the Rat Pack, gangsters, musicians, actors, actresses, high people in politics, the political arena. A lot of people went to these parties that were never seen again. At one time, it switched hands. He was killed in the home. Then his wife remarried a mobster. She later died of old age in the home, and we saw her there in the home. We saw him. We saw many other spirits that were there in this home.
Okay.
But mobsters also used it as a murder house because it's in a gated.
Stop. Wait, stop, Sean. I'm gonna freak. This is probably why I pulled this card. I don't mean to do this to you. This week I had a dream. I have to tell you this. I told my husband I had a dream. I was a woman who married someone in the mob. And I was a little woman. I wasn't very big. And I
know who that is too. And
it's not
you were dreaming of this woman, and she was showing herself through you in this dream.
Yes.
That's the woman.
So on the floor, in the cement floor in the basement, were all the names of the people that I had to cover to kill. And that's what my dream was. And I woke up and I told my husband, I don't know if this was my past life.
You've been there. You've been to that house.
Something.
That basement was a bomb shelter, and they turned it into a bowling alley, and a lot of bad things happened down there.
This dream was so vivid.
You've seen all of it.
I mean, I woke up and I was so disturbed. I was like, how could I do that? Was this in a past life? I wouldn't want to do that to people. And I was like so disturbed by it this week. No wonder. See, spirit comes through in interesting ways, don't they?
Well, here's my question to you before I have to cut you loose. They're going to go back to where they were before I pulled them over here near the desk here to show you. And I already live in a haunted house. Yeah. So I don't know if it was something else that was here that's just kind of messing with these items and you know, and that's all it is, or if it was the things that were attached to it needing exactly this. This was therapy for spirits that you just conducted. And so now maybe everything's cool for a little bit.
Yep. I can't agree with you more. I have that happen all the time where people, it's like spirit knows we're going to be opening the energy and they start getting amped. It's bubbling energy. I always tell people mediumship is not just for us here on earth. It is for spirit to heal as well. They want to be heard. So I couldn't agree with you more. But that dream, I cannot even believe that. I need to go to this place. You got to send me the information later because I think I'm supposed to go there or something.
They since have sold it.
Okay.
And because her spirit would really act up and chase everybody off there. But we encountered a demonic entity there that was, I'll talk to you about this later on the next time I can be back. Yes. Why demonics seem to be able to herd up and hold human spirits in one place. That was happening. There was a lot of stuff going on in this home. They did sell it eventually, but they've done a lot of remodeling to it, changed the name of the mansion and all that sort of stuff. So I'll as I know more, I'll tell you more, but I feel good that I showed you these even right now, it's a lot lighter and airier in here. And this whole time my dogs were barking just before we started, then they stopped. Things have instantly settled down. So I'll have you back for a part 2 of looking at some more items that I want you to, and like I am going to get hate mail because I've got a half a dozen more questions.
Sorry I didn't get to everyone.
That's okay. We will. But I love you. Thank you so much for spending an hour out of your busy Friday with me and my viewers. I can feel the love that they all appreciated it. And give your husband a hug, even though he'll probably think that's weird. Give your kids a hug for me.
Thank you, Sean.
Stay safe. And thank you so much. And have a great rest of your evening. Okay.
Thank you.
Good night, Brandy. Wow. I wish you guys could be here to feel that. It's just, like I'm a conduit and she's a conduit, and these things had a story of their own that needed to be told. It was just incredible. I want to take an opportunity to thank my beautiful, passionate, talented producer, Adrian Hart, aka Ghost Granny, Desert Heart Paranormal, my producer. I couldn't do the show without her. Also, the Paranormal United Network for all their hard work and simulcasting my show on all of their social media platforms. Thank you guys. You're a great team and a great network. I'll be here next Friday again, 2 p.m. Pacific. You're going to love these guys. I might just let them take over the show and watch it with you guys. The Paranormal MD, Mary Marshall, is going to be here with her #1 paranormal partner in crime, Jay Bochachin, and they will talk about all things paranormal. And I'm going to even probably get some cryptid and Bigfoot talk out of them because they've hunted those too. So that'll be next Friday. So everyone, heartfelt thank you for tuning in. I don't have a show without all of you. Remember, anger is just a punishment we put on ourselves for somebody else's mistake. Learn how to forgive, turn the other cheek. Have a blessed week, everybody. I love you all. On that note, good night, Harold. Rest in peace. Good night, Ernie. Good night, Bill. Good night, Dan. God bless everyone. Peace be with you.